Data, a TD SYNNEX company, connects and empowers a vibrant, expansive ecosystem of innovative companies that create solutions for increasingly complex business challenges. We help more than 150,000 customers maximize the value of IT investments, achieve business outcomes, and unlock growth opportunities by simplifying complexity for our vendors and customers, allowing new technologies to be effortlessly adopted. With our dedicated team of the IT industry's best and brightest, we passionately deliver compelling technology that enhances the way we work, play, and live. As the intense pace of the IT marketplace continues to transform, we will remain at the center, orchestrating essential solutions, delivering vital, high-growth technologies, and working to sustain the world around us. With 50 years of success at our backs, we continue to evolve and improve the ways we support our partners. We believe anyone can achieve great outcomes with technology. And Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, is proud to make that happen every day. Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, connects and empowers a vibrant, expansive ecosystem of innovative companies that create solutions for increasingly complex business challenges. We help more than 150,000 customers maximize the value of IT investments, achieve business outcomes, and unlock growth opportunities by simplifying complexity for our vendors and customers, allowing new technologies to be effortlessly adopted. With our dedicated team of the IT industry's best and brightest, we passionately deliver compelling technology that enhances the way we work, play, and live. As the intense pace of the IT marketplace continues to transform, we will remain at the center, orchestrating essential solutions, delivering vital, high-growth technologies, and working to sustain the world around us. With 50 years of success at our backs, we continue to evolve and improve the ways we support our partners. We believe anyone can achieve great outcomes with technology. And Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, is proud to make that happen every day. Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, connects and empowers a vibrant, expansive ecosystem of innovative companies that create solutions for increasingly complex business challenges. We help more than 150,000 customers maximize the value of IT investments, achieve business outcomes, and unlock growth opportunities by simplifying complexity for our vendors and customers, allowing new technologies to be effortlessly adopted. With our dedicated team of the IT industry's best and brightest, we passionately deliver compelling technology that enhances the way we work, play, and live. As the intense pace of the IT marketplace continues to transform, we will remain at the center, orchestrating essential solutions, delivering vital, high-growth technologies, and working to sustain the world around us. With 50 years of success at our backs, we continue to evolve and improve the ways we support our partners. We believe anyone can achieve great outcomes with technology. And Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, is proud to make that happen every day. Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, connects and empowers a vibrant, expansive ecosystem of innovative companies that create solutions for increasingly complex business challenges. We help more than 150,000 customers maximize the value of IT investments, achieve business outcomes, and unlock growth opportunities by simplifying complexity for our vendors and customers, allowing new technologies to be effortlessly adopted. With our dedicated team of the IT industry's best and brightest, we passionately deliver compelling technology that enhances the way we work, play, and live. As the intense pace of the IT marketplace continues to transform, we will remain at the center, orchestrating essential solutions, delivering vital, high-growth technologies, and working to sustain the world around us. With 50 years of success at our backs, we continue to evolve and improve the ways we support our partners. We believe anyone can achieve great outcomes with technology. And Tech Data, a TD SYNNEX company, is proud to make that happen every day.
All right, thank you, Dhwani. Shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, hello to everyone who has joined us. My name is Ritika, and on behalf of Tech Data, I am pleased to welcome you to our exclusive webinar on hybrid cloud for AI acceleration. Please note that this is the seventh session in our popular webinar series, so stay tuned for more details from Tech Data on our next virtual event. Now, without further ado, let me provide a quick overview of today's agenda. Our first speaker for this webinar is Karan Balchandani. Karan is a part of our esteemed Tech Center of Excellence and overlooks the entire Asia, Pacific, and Japan region as a senior manager. Today, he will walk you through how hybrid cloud is transforming generative AI and helping enterprises to achieve their goals. Taking this exciting journey ahead after Karan is Ganesh Durai. Ganesh is also a part of our Tech Center of Excellence and is a senior solutions architect for the Asia Pacific and Japan region. Today, he will discuss various opportunities in the hybrid cloud space, share some interesting use cases, and more with you. We will conclude today's webinar with the Q&A session, so please put up your questions, if any, in the Q&A box, and we will respond to them at the end of the webinar. You can also turn on the transcription feature when needed. All you need to do is select the More option in the top menu and click Show Transcript or Start Transcription. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Karan. Karan, the stage is all yours.
Hey, thanks, Ritika. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Karan Balchandani, and I'm the senior manager, part of the Tech COE team. And today we shall be covering about AI infrastructure uh, and how can the right infrastructure, be it on-prem or be it hybrid, can maximize its compute powers for coming wave of AI workloads, right? So let's begin our discussion on this as well. So here is a quick overview of what we will cover today. We will start with how right infra can easily manage the larger data sets for AI. Then we shall look into the opportunities of on-prem and hybrid cloud for running AI workloads, some use cases and solutions that are available with us, and then finally we'll discuss on Tech Data's value offering via our Tech COE. To manage the large data sets involves building a very effective AI infrastructure, which should have scalability, performance, and also compliance. Right. So it's important to have an architecture for an evolving data needs and also technological advancements because Gen AI or AI are growing and changing in such a faster rate that it requires that kind of an architecture which can manage and handle the requirements. So before moving ahead, let's first explore a little bit about what's the basic fundamentals, like what is AI, what Gen AI is all about, and the underlying AI infrastructure, right? So what is AI infrastructure that we are talking about? So artificial intelligence or AI is actually a simulation of human intelligence in machines. That means we want to enable our systems around us to perform tasks like reasoning, learning, and problem solving. Right? Whereas generative AI or Gen AI for short, okay, it specifically refers to another further subset of AI which is more focused on production of new contents, right? So it can generate a new content. That's why it's called generative AI. Contents can be in terms of text, images, music, right? Which is based on learning that it can get, right? So that's where it understands and learns based on patterns of the existing data and create a newer content, right? So such content generation brings more personalized results like application generation or drug discovery or automated designs, right? It makes it very powerful tool for innovations which can go across various industries, right? So Gen AI is a revolution which is touching upon every vertical that we are working today, right? So why are we talking about AI so in depth in today's market, right? It's because of the adoption or the surge that has happened, right? So there is a lot of adoption and investment that is going around AI and generative AI, right? There are certain numbers that you go through it. You can see there are almost 65% of organizations which are now using Gen AI, which has almost double in numbers, which as compared to a year ago. Right. And then there are more than 75% of the respondents to a survey which says that there is going to be a significant change in industries because of these Gen AI technologies, right? Um, there are people who are investing a lot of their spend on digital budgets, be it Gen AI or analytical AI, right? So few of them think that they are spending equally in Gen AI and analytical AI. However, there are still 20% of organizations which still claim that they are spending larger share on AI as compared to a Gen AI services, right? But regardless of all of it, right, within the next 3 years, we are expecting at least a 67% increase in the spend on AI from the organizations, right? If you look at organizational spend, which has adopted at least one business function, right? As I said, AI and Gen AI can be adopted into multiple business functions, but the survey says that if organizations who have at least adopted one business function, the growth rate has been on the rise. And if you compare that with Gen AI, it is on a very high scale, right? So it is double in numbers. Even if you look at individual's usage on Gen AI, okay, not as an organization but as an individual, if you see and compare between the last year and this year, you can see a rise in numbers, right? In terms of at least tried once or are regularly using, not only for work but outside work as well. So there is a lot of increase in the numbers on it, right? So more and more people are now moving towards AI and Gen AI technologies. More people are adopting it. It's fast adoption within the organizations. This means there is going to be a lot of requirement or ask for having the right infra to run these services, right? Everything works on the backend infra. So if you have the right infra for you, it works well, right? So if you look at this particular foundational model, the cloud or on-prem infra and the storage, right, becomes very crucial for the AI model for several reasons, right? They take care of storing larger data sets which are needed for continuous training. It can also have a requirement of specialized hardware like GPUs and NPUs. So specifically, if you talk about say cloud providers, so cloud providers innovate to deliver these latest technologies and improvements, right, with the help of cost efficiency, computational flexibility, and data management. At the same time, on-premise infrastructure can also be used because they offer control over data security and privacy, which is very essential for sensitive data industries, right? And it can also be used for customization, right? So you can have a combination of customization plus the compliance and resource utilization, which all makes uh, the infra a very baseline for having any AI or a Gen AI model created for you, right? So AI infrastructure, what is this term called AI infrastructure, right? So AI infrastructure is a integrated environment. It's not just the hardware, but it is an integrated environment which has hardware plus the software designs, right? Specifically built for AI and machine learning workloads, right? So these are very critical in having, so you can look at it as a backbone for doing efficient data processing or model training or deployment of these solutions, right? So if we look at it further, it's it has five key components, right? So computational power, data handling and storage, data processing frameworks or software infra, what we call it, then the network, and then followed by security and compliance, right? So all of which are very essential, and it helps in creation, maintenance, and advancements of any AI system. Right. So we'll go a little bit further into all of these and look at what these solutions are. Right. So if you look at hardware infra, um, this talks about the high performance computational hardware that is required, right? So it can be in sense of CPUs for complex operations and multi-threading. We can use GPUs for performing thousands of calculations simultaneously, NPUs, which are also known as AI accelerators, which excel in parallel operations. And then we have storage, right? So under storage we often involve a mix of SSDs and SDDs along with memory technologies like DRAM, flash storage, right? So these are some of the storage systems, along with the distributed storage which is available in data centers, or object storage which are available in cloud, which helps the modern AI application deliver efficiently and handle all the data needs. Right. Then we have the software infra. So software infra is again a mix of frameworks, tools, libraries. Right. This can be in terms of machine learning frameworks. Okay, containerization and virtualizations like Dockers and Kubernetes services, distributed framework like Apache Hadoop or Apache Spark, database management system. So you can see there is NoSQL as well as SQL based databases like MongoDB, Cassandra, or MySQL, PostgreSQL. Right, so we have a mix of both, and then we also have code repositories, right, or versioning control with the help of GitHub and GitLab. So it's a combination of all these which makes a software infrastructure layer. And then, of course, we have to top it up with network for high speed, low latency networking, and have the privacy and security, which makes very essential measures, because you need to encrypt your data, make sure it has the right access, and it is in compliance with the regulations like GDPR or CCPA or some other regulations that we talk about, right? Um, so why are we talking about AI infrastructure, right? Because we need to manage the larger data sets. These AI and Gen AI services requires a very high computational backend infra for it, right? And not every infra is certified to do it, right? So how can we make sure that the infra that we have is designed in an efficient manner to manage this large data set, right? Which can be done through certain solutions, right? So how do we do that? So we can use scalable and fast storage like NVMs or SSDs, right? And then have a distributed file system like Hadoop HDFS, or object storage like AWS S3 buckets. Right. Other framework also help in efficient processing, right? So the data processing has to be done through both batch and stream processing. Then we have data ingestions, so that can be managed through ETL pipelines. We can have database management, be it NoSQL database or a SQL database. Then it also has to be top it up with warehousing solutions, data lake storage solutions for structured and unstructured data, right? Then we talk about HPCs, which is high performance computing, where we talk about the GPUs, the graphical processing, and the NPUs, right, natural processing, which can help in processing or training the data model, and also help with natural language processing solutions. We also need to have a distributed system for having a parallel effective solutions, and have the quality assurance and the security from the patterns of our data governance, right? And finally, our infrastructure is designed for scalability, so we have to make sure that we can either horizontally or vertically uh, do the scaling so that we can increase the requirement as and when it demands, right? So that we can have the capabilities of existing ones to manage it as well as scale it up as and when required, right? So these are some of the major pointers that we should take care of while we talk about having the right set of designs, right? uh, but along with this, there are also certain challenges that we have, right? So what are those challenges? So few of the challenges that we look into is network requirement, right? Your traditional network may not have the bandwidth, or it may be too slow for such a AI operations, right? There can be also another risk, or the challenge is to have the computational needs, right? Your traditional data centers running on CPUs might not be able to facilitate this parallel processing, right? Or if you talk about real-time processing demands, or we talk about massive data processing, again, it requires uh, a very high computational power, so that we can't even have a split second delay, right? Because it may affect the real-time processing, because we are talking about, say, uh, a self-driving cars or a fraud detection system where we are using AI or Gen AI services. Uh, these solutions or these use cases cannot even manage or maintain a split second delay, right? So these are some of the challenges. And then of course, the last is having the right scalability and flexibility in your environment, so that it can manage the dynamic requirements, right? So these are some of the challenges, but this can be overcome with the help of hybrid cloud, right? So we are not asking you, or we are not asking your customers to move to cloud, or just scrap everything and start a new project with a new infra, right? There are several reasons that we have mentioned here, which becomes a very important point to understand that we can talk about hybrid cloud as an option, which can provide easy scaling for any organization to decide and then put the AI workloads in the right manner, right? You can use a steady state operations, and you can also manage your on-demand peaks through hybrid option. You have an option to also do cost efficiency, because now you can define where your infra is and which application will run in which environment, right? So a huge expenses can be maintained with this kind of large scale set of infrastructure. Hybrid cloud also helps you with data proximity or latency reduction, because now you can choose where your data is. So you choose the closer area of your data and where it is created, and then reduce the latency. And also, of course, the security and resiliency can be managed through having the solutions, right? So you can define data protection, disaster recoveries, and also define the security and compliance with having the hybrid option, right? So overall, if we look at it, if we conclude what AI infrastructure is, right? So Gen AI, or a AI environment, has a very sophisticated blend of hardware and software, both, which requires continuous evolvement to enhance their capabilities, right? Now, what are the steps we should take for an organization to maintain or go through certain steps, which can be very essential steps for any partner, okay, to deliver it for their end customers. Now, these steps may look uh, easy plug and play steps, but it requires a specialized skills, and tech data here will help you with each and every step. We have the right set of SMEs who can deliver these solutions, or who can deliver these workshop or assessments for you, right? So what are those steps that we are talking about? So we have 7 steps that we can collect. right? So step one is we should collect information from the current infra. So gathering the right information, doing the assessment for the current infra, identifying what are the strengths, weakness, and the gaps in hardware and software. Then we go to step two, where we upgrade the computational power. Right. So as I said, regular CPUs might not be able to manage the requirement. So we go through uh, upgrading the requirements, right, through GPUs or NPUs. Third is enhancing the storage, right? So we need to go with newer, higher volume storage, which will be able to manage the large data sets. Step four is we pick up the right frameworks, we pick up the right deployment tools and the platform, right? So we can choose to have it on-prem, on cloud, or you go with a hybrid model. Then, so doing this assessment, finalizing what would be the right set for the customer is where we come in, and our SMEs can help you do the designing part for it. Right. Then we also have to make sure that we are focusing on optimizing the infra for energy efficiency, because sustainability is also one of the bigger things which are being focused on, and it not only helps the environment but it also helps operational costs, right? Then we have step six and step seven, which is the security and compliance, and the plan for scalability, right? So that we can incorporate the newer AI applications and then have the scalable infra ready with us, right? So these are few of the steps which you should follow, and then if you have any support requirement, you can reach out to our SMEs, right? So this is where I stop, and then I hand it over to Ganesh, which is where he will talk more in front of what solutions and what offerings we have to offer from the tech data perspective. So I'll hand it over to Ganesh for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karan. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Please
Yes.
let me know if I'm not. All right. So I'm Ganesh Durai, a senior solutions architect for hybrid cloud and modern data center for APJ region, primarily supporting for Center of Excellence team from Singapore. So the primary objective of today's webinar session is to provide you a high-level overview of what are the hybrid technologies that is available with OEM vendors and how artificial intelligence can work hand in hand and complement each other with hybrid cloud itself, right? So this is what I'm going to talk about. And in addition to that, I'll be discussing about the solutions that is available with the tech data in terms of a demo or in terms of a partner enablement or in terms of workshops that you can leverage on COE team. And finally, I will also talk about the recent demo that we have developed with the Nutanix and H2O.ai, which is hardware and AI combined model that is something like a mini chat GPT within an organization itself. Finally, Karan will be talking about tech data's value propositions as well. So what you see here is, Karan, can you please proceed with the slide? Yeah. The content that you see in this particular slide is a reflection of Gartner's predictions that happened last year. Actually, Gartner has recommended 4 recommendations for cloud, data center, and edge infrastructures, right? So the first one being cloud teams will have to optimize and refactor infrastructure, which means whatever workload that has been moved to public cloud doesn't mean that everything is running optimum, right? So there are multiple refactor or replatform that is required to make the application seamlessly running in their infrastructure. And with this regard, it also includes things like cost control and things like security have to be strengthened enough what it looks like in a traditional infrastructure, right? So this is number one. Number two, new kind of application architectures will demand new kind of infrastructure architectures. So now we know that it is application team that is driving innovation in today's context. whatever digital transformation that is happening in every organization is more or less driven by application team to meet their workloads, to meet their objective. The underlying infrastructure have to be in place. Only then the project can be successfully delivered. So number three, data center teams and OEM vendors have to embrace as a service technologies and the features to be delivered to end users, right? So what this means is cloud teams will have to embrace security and cost control that is similar to OEM vendors, and OEM vendors have to embrace cloud-like features that is for as a service use cases. So nowadays, you know that there are many functions can be made available as a service. So for instance, server as a compute as a service, or a database as a service, or application as a service, right? So broadly, they can be classified into three categories. Number one is infrastructure as a service. Number two is platform as a service. Number three is software as a service, right? So when it comes to infrastructure as a service, as a customer, if they wanted to consume network storage and server and virtualization from a public cloud vendor, then it falls under infrastructure as a service. In addition to network storage, server, and visualization, if they wanted to consume the operating system as well as runtime environment, then it falls under platform as a service. In addition to infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, if they wanted to consume application and data, then it becomes software as a service. So for any organization, for them to move towards digital transformation, the first step is infrastructure as a service. So this is what you see in this particular slide is compute and storage will definitely continue to grow as the way it is for the next 2 years. And as you can see, the percentage growth here. And in addition to that, infrastructure as a service is the biggest growth opportunity available for our partners, right? Say if compute and storage is growing at the rate of 20% year on year, then infrastructure as a service is subject to grow at more than 24% per year, right? So which is contributing to 13.83 billion on a year-on-year basis. So definitely in terms of AI adoption or in terms of infrastructure as a service adoption, both compute and storage will have a very good handshaking methodology in terms of contributing to growth, right? So Karan, can you move to the next slide? So in addition to traditional infrastructure as a service and compute and storage, what you see here is the opportunity that is available with the AI infrastructure market. Right? So broadly classified into 4 categories here. One is Gen AI infra, Gen AI platform, Gen AI application software, and Gen AI services. So when it comes to Gen AI infra, basically, how do you differentiate a normal traditional infrastructure with the Gen AI infra? So that is something that all the partners or end users should be aware of, right? So in a traditional environment, it depends on the use case that you drive. You choose the CPUs and memories and storage, right? So when it comes to hosting AI kind of a workload, definitely you need more computing capacity. That's the reason you go with GPUs. So then it becomes a Gen AI infra, which is compatible with whatever vendor that you choose it from, maybe NVIDIA, maybe from Intel or AMD, right? So Gen AI platform, there are many platforms available, and there are many software applications that is compatible to run on the platform. And Gen AI services, which is the actual application services that run on the hardware, right? Say, for example, if the services or applications or models is subjected to grow at a single digit or almost single digit, then infrastructure alone is going to contribute for a double digit growth of 18.3 billion. So which is definitely substantial amount in increase of infrastructure spend that happens by 2027, right? So this is a great opportunity for traditional infrastructure players as well as emerging infrastructure as a service players to make use of this opportunity with Gen AI. This slide talks about multi-cloud artificial intelligence landscape. Before I talk about this particular slide, it is worth mentioning a typical digital transformation journey of each and every end user. So as a partner, when you step into any end user environment, not all the end users are within the same kind of a arc when it comes to adopting a digital transformation, right? So some may be operating in traditional infrastructure because they may not have a proper use case for them to migrate to the next level, or they do not want it to for some reason. Number two, some may have already adopted a cloud native kind of a solution. A few of their application may be hosted in cloud. What I mean by cloud native is a term where your application can be hosted in a hyperscaler kind of a cloud environment. At the same time, it can be containerized and it can be orchestrated using a Kubernetes kind of an environment. In addition to that, if that application has a self-healing capability or automating a certain process to make sure the repeated operations can be eliminated, then this can be defined as a cloud native application, right? And in addition, it also contributes with the CI/CD pipelines. So, and there are another section of a category where people are already onboarded into a hybrid cloud native infrastructure, which means what I mean by hybrid cloud is if there is a computing platform that offers you a uh, seamless and transparent connectivity across more than two data centers, one data center being on-premise data center and other being a cloud data center, then that is hybrid cloud native for you. And the advanced level is hybrid multi-cloud native, where you have can access your data and application across more than one data center with more than one public cloud hyperscaler as well. This is hybrid cloud native. So apart from these four stages of digital adoption, there is another called multi-cloud adoption. What you see here is multi-cloud fabric, which is something integrates multiple hyperscaler into one single platform. So the objective of this multi-cloud fabric is this will allow you to integrate more than one public cloud into a single ecosystem so that you can have your hosted environment or data center environment or co-location, irrespective of where your data comes in, you should be having a single pane of glass management. So when it comes to intelligent data fabric, this layer talks about how your data can be managed. So it can be inferencing or can be ingestion or it can be your fine tuning the model, which is already in place. Then this is where Gen AI or natural language processing or machine learning or computer vision, robotics or data science platform, speech recognition, analytics comes into play. I'll be talking about each and every one of them in the later slides. So irrespective of whatever models that you choose, everything has their specific use cases that is categorized across multiple industry. What you see here is uh, there are common use cases. At the same time, there are specific use cases can be customized as per healthcare or financial and banking industry. If you wanted to have a use case for real-time fraud detection or portfolio management, or if you wanted to do any kind of a loan processing application in a manual way, it takes more than a week. For example, if you involve artificial intelligence large language model, then it can help you to take a decision within 48 hours, right? So that is made possible. And it also helps you with logistics and supply management, where you can track each and every kind of a item that is being routed across the geography. And in addition to what you see here with the retail, e-commerce, and manufacturing or marketing and sales, it also helps you in creating a virtual assistant irrespective of what industry you are operating. And it also helps you with the drug discovery with the early application of Gen AI that has gained very good traction with the pharmaceutical industry. So it depends on the industry that you operate. The large language models can be fine-tuned accordingly. Hybrid AI blueprint for data modernization. What you see here is a blueprint for a tech data COE team that we enable our partners across the region. So as you see here, there are multiple layers of technical stack available here. Starting with infrastructure, we do support Dell Technologies, HP, Lenovo, IBM, NetApp, Nutanix from the OEM perspective. And the next layer is a hyperscaler for a platform, which is AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, SUSE Rancher, IBM, and Oracle Cloud for hybrid and multi-cloud kind of environment. On top of that, we do support with the security at each and every layer with FI, Harmony, IBM Security, Fortinet, and Azure Purview. So whatever the basic layers that you choose from, it has to do with some sort of a data modernization. This is where the actual replatforming or refactoring of the actual application takes place. So it depends on what kind of activity that you wanted to target, what is the expected outcome that you expect from this particular model. Accordingly, we can choose what is the best combination of software that can coexist with the combination of a hardware that is available with the platform that Tech Data supports, right? Say it can be for ERP or online transaction processing or database files. It falls under the collection category. And it can be ingestion and transport. It falls under Cloudera, data flow, and IBM data stage and SaaS applications. There are certain applications which are very well established with certain hardware vendors. For example, if you wanted to use a SaaS application kind of a use case, HP has a very good integration with the SaaS globally. And if you wanted to have a kind of a Cloudera or H2O.ai, then Dell has a very good collaboration with those software vendors, right? So it depends. For example, if your use case is about creating a data warehouse or business intelligence or any kind of enterprise data management, then Cloudera with Dell technologies will be the right kind of combination. Or if you wanted to use certain kind of use cases with H2O.ai, for instance, H2O.ai is a artificial intelligence solutions provider company, which is specialized in driverless AI. So if you wanted to automate certain machine language models with a Dell certified hardware, then this is where Dell and H2O.ai can be the right fit for your solutions. Right? So these are some examples. So what you see here in this particular slide is a validated and certified solutions from different OEM vendors, right? So first one being Dell AI Factory. This is something irrespective of where your data lies in, can be on edge or it can be on a co-location data center, or it can be on a cloud, or it can be on your on-premise data center. Dell has the right technology to reduce the latency and bring all those data together to give you the right performance, right? And in addition to that, Dell has certain kind of layers which process your data and then come and gives you the right kind of output for what you want. So what you see here is the framework for AI success. The first layer being a data layer, which is what I have talked about, the edge and data center and cloud, irrespective of where your data resides. Dell has the technology to get it integrated. And then the basic layer to start with is infrastructure layer. This is where your Dell AI PCs or Dell PowerEdge servers, or it can be your storage, which in this case it's Dell PowerScale or Dell PowerStore can be the storage hardware, and that is integrated with NVIDIA GPUs like H100s or L40s, right? And NVIDIA has the networking mechanism with network infrastructure manager. So this acts as an infrastructure layer. On top of that, you have your open ecosystem. What it means is this open ecosystem layer combines with NVIDIA's software layer. Say NVIDIA has an AI enterprise suite of tools, which has its own software mechanism that can be integrated with Dell hardware. And NVIDIA NIM, which stands for Networking Interface Infrastructure Manager, which takes care of your networking needs, right? So NVIDIA AI Omniverse is something that if you wanted to create any 3D modeling or video-based images, then NVIDIA AI Omniverse will be interacting with your Dell hardware. In addition to that, you should also be able to make use of third-party ISVs and models. And the topmost layer is the services layer. where depends on the outcome that you expect. Dell has the SMEs with them to give you the managed services or professional services or any kind of residency services that you're expecting. Dell has the right level of SMEs to support you. So all combines together. These are the use cases that you'll be able to get. These are the use cases that is validated and certified by Dell Technologies. First one being content and code generation. Say, for example, if you wanted to create a content for a specific set of audience, it should be able to possible to be able to create it. And the next one is code generation. Say, for example, if you wanted to do any kind of natural language processing or create any kind of a custom software code, then it can be made possible. And digital assistant is something everyone wants to have a chat bot representing their company, reducing their manpower in answering the repeated questions, right? So the next one is data creation. Say, for example, if you have certain data or information available with you, but for some reason you are not able to make a decision based on the data that is available, then using the right level of language models, then Dell can help you to create additional data based on the patterns that is generated in the past. Thereby, you can have additional data creation as a use case. The next one is computer vision. This is nothing but uh, if you wanted to monitor a traffic over a period of time without a manual intervention, or if you wanted to do any kind of a screening for medical use cases like X-ray or MRI scan, then this is where computer vision comes into play. The last one being digital twins. Say this is where you wanted to create a replica of certain segment of data or process, uh, just kind of a cloning services that you wanted to have to do some sort of a testing without interrupting your production data, then this is where digital twins comes into play. So it doesn't mean that Dell's use cases are limited to what you see here. Dell can also assist you in terms of creating a custom use cases based on your needs. So whatever kind of use case that you drive, it is important to make sure you right size your AI investment, right? So this is where Dell has a very good validated stack in place that covers the basic infrastructure, be it you wanted to drive AI PC kind of initiative, or you wanted to do any kind of workstations to drive the edge infrastructure, or you have your PowerEdge servers and you wanted to make use of those PowerEdge servers to connect to your existing Z-series networking switches, and then to connect to your storage, then it is also possible. So with the infrastructure and the component that you see here, it doesn't mean that you have to invest heavily right from the scratch, right? So you can make use of the existing stack that is available within your data center. From there, you can build an AI kind of a use case. So when you have the right level of a hardware in place, the next layer comes in is NVIDIA's AI enterprise. And then you have multiple patterns to match the kind of use cases that you wanted to create. And based on the outcome that you wanted to drive, you can choose the business objective as well. So what you see here is a similar kind of offering that is made available with HP Private Cloud for AI. So for instance, if you wanted to have a private cloud within your on-premise data center, then at the same time, if you wanted to include AI artificial intelligence on top of that private cloud, then this is made possible with HPE. This is a turnkey solution which is available with multiple sizes, small, medium, large, and extra large. And based on the AI services that you choose, whether it can be HP provided or it can be a third-party partner provided, it gives you enhanced monitoring and observability, because observability is something that even it gives you, if when something went wrong, what you need to do to get it fixed and get it back to BAU, right? And in terms of AI infrastructure, they have very good collaboration with the HP AI servers and NVIDIA CPUs and GPUs. And it uses HP file storage to run your VM runtime or Kubernetes or cloud native applications, right? And what you see here is AI optimized hardware. Basically, this is up to 3 categories. One is inferencing. The second one is RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. the third one, the final one, is the fine tuning. So inferencing is something that when you wanted to classify certain data with the past history of patterns, then this is called as inferencing. So it doesn't mean you need to invest heavily on a GPU to start with. So if you are just doing a classification, you are just doing a normal inferencing, you can start with the small configuration, what is mentioned here. If you wanted to do retrieval augmented generation, which is definitely have to deal with the vector database to pull the information and then read that information to repurpose it for better usability. This is what RAG is all about, right? So which may need some sort of a higher computation before you choose it. And fine tuning is something, this is where LLMs comes into play, where you have to fine tune the existing large language models to make sure your environment is equipped for that. So what you see here is AI offering from NetApp in combination with Lenovo for NVIDIA OVX. So this is something, for example, if you have a Lenovo ThinkSystem servers available with you, for example, it is SR675, and you have a NetApp storage, which is already available in your data center, then you can make sure that your compute and your compute and storage layer is already taken care. And in addition, you can make use of NVIDIA's L40S GPUs to create a complete ecosystem for you to have a RAG system to support your chatbot or knowledge management or object recognition kind of a use cases. So this is a new offering which is recently announced by NetApp in their NetApp Inspire event less than a month ago, right? So if any of your end users already have a very good infrastructure footprint of NetApp with Lenovo hardware, then definitely they just need to invest on NVIDIA GPUs to get the kind of workloads that is made possible with the options available here. Can be AI services, or can be AI PC plus services, or it can be driving any kind of a workplace solutions, or it can be high performance computing with the hybrid AI, or it can be a partner ecosystem where you wanted to tie up with the top ISPs. Then the solutions can be fine tuned and validated accordingly. Finally, they embark on a responsible AI, so which means that all the governance and ethical behavior of the model will be taken care by NetApp and Lenovo together. Next slide, please. So what you see here is a Nutanix GPT in a box. Nutanix is known for its hyper-converged infrastructure, which means your compute, storage, and network can be integrated into a single node. You do not have to rely on a traditional three-tier architecture where you need a dedicated SME to take care of your compute, to take care of your SAN, or take care of your storage, right? So in addition to that, Nutanix have come up with a brilliant idea in a way that you can put up a GPT within a box. Say, if you wanted to have every organization today wanted to have their own kind of a chat GPT to support their HR system or onboarding new employees or any kind of audit and compliance. So this is where you can very well make use of this with the technical stack that you see here. Nutanix recommends it to be a GPU-enabled node. And on top of that, you have a Nutanix Acropolis operating system, which works very well with the AHP for virtualization layer. And then for container orchestration, you have a Kubernetes, and then PyTorch becomes your AI framework. And ML Ops and the Kubeflow becomes your machine learning operation layer. And then on top of it, you should be able to run your foundational models with LLMs, which contribute to your application services as a top layer. So Nutanix gives you file storage and object storage to achieve this particular GPT in a box. It doesn't mean that it has to be mandatorily GPU-enabled node. Just in case if you are only using for inferencing, then even with the CPU-enabled node, you should be able to drive a chat GPT within your organization, which I'll be showing a demo in a while. Next slide, please. So what you see here is IBM's AI kind of infrastructure, which is also known as watsonx. There are few foundational models available with this, starting with the cloud operating model, delivers as a service on and off-prem that outcome optimize. So when it comes to the operating model, it has three different pillars. One is prepare, which takes care of your storage and retrieval mechanism that has many level of IBM storages that is available with it. IBM storage, IBM storage Ceph, or object storage, whatever that you can use to store and retrieve the data. The second layer being the build layer, where you can fine tune the actual AI model that you build on the containerized platform. For example, Red Hat OpenShift in this instance is something very well recognized across the industry when it comes to containerization and Kubernetes management, right? Even with Gartner and Forrester uh, level of ranking, they are leaders in terms of containerization Kubernetes management, right? So in terms of Fusion HCI, which is equivalent of the Nutanix HCI that is available on the industry, you should be able to do a HCA as well. So it depends on what kind of a parameter that you want to retune, what kind of a solution that you want to drive. You can choose the models accordingly. And then the third category falls under the deployment category, where you can do the inferencing and governance of AI and the sustainability for your reducing your carbon footprint of the existing infrastructure. So it also talks about how your existing IBM storage, or how your existing IBM power systems or Power Z systems can collaborate easily with IBM Cloud, with IBM Red Hat OpenShift as a hybrid cloud platform. And then what's next will be your AI platform. And then based on the platform that you wanted to choose for what's next, there are multiple platforms in terms of assistance, in terms of video enablement, in terms of orchestration. You can choose what you wanted to do. So in summary, what we have discussed so far is there may be different OEMs available in the industry, but there are certain unique value propositions that they offer when it comes to use cases. At the same time, if you wanted to customize based on your requirement, then it is also possible, right? So almost all the technology that we've discussed about focuses primarily on a simplified deployment, where they wanted to take the complexity out of the implementation phase. Because, for example, if you wanted to build a Kubernetes cluster on your own right from the scratch, you need to worry about building the managed nodes, worker nodes, and then create a kind of a platform before you integrate that with the storage, and then create a namespace, storage class, and everything before you run the actual application on the Kubernetes layer. So it needs a lot of technical expertise for you. But in terms of adopting a simplified, predefined, validated solution that is available with different OEMs, then this is where the simplified deployment comes into play. And in addition, it also gives you a scalable architecture, because whatever storage or compute that we discussed about is very well scalable across your on-premise as well as cloud. Right? So it is validated for performance as well. So depends on the number of CPUs or GPUs that you wanted to use for your workload. You should be able to meet your performance needs. So finally, it gives you a multi-vendor collaboration. At any point in stage, you're not kind of locked in with any kind of a vendor, right? So you have the freedom to navigate across multiple vendors, and literally your faster time to market, which means your applications can be onboarded without being waiting for weeks in a traditional environment. Yeah. So what you see here is a typical demo of a Nutanix Prism, which is a GUI console. Once you log in, this is a GUI console. You just create a cluster, and then you make sure your cluster is up and running. And then you create a Kubernetes cluster where you have to give an IP for the API endpoint, and then you create a storage class for it. This is where your storage comes into play in terms of volumes. And then Carbon is something, a Nutanix Kubernetes engine, right, which is formerly known as Carbon, where you need to build a Carbon engine where you define the actual IP address endpoint and then download the kube configurations. Once it is done, you should be able to get the nodes using the command that you see here. And then you can get the storage class that is being visible. And then you can also see what is the name services available. Anything LLM and Olama is something open source large language models, which is can be made available without any kind of a huge investment in play, right? And once you have the right kind of a port that is opened, you should be able to get a GUI console like this. So this is a use case that we have built for one of the client in one of the partner here. Here I'm using a Mistral as a large language library and connected to the vector database, which is something all the LLMs will be using in AI dictionary, right? So once you connect with the vector database, you should be able to upload any kind of a document, in this case, a PDF document that talks about Nutanix. The document is uploaded, and then you just write a simple prompt engineering in form of query. What are the compute options available for NX? So what it does is it internally queries that particular document and then gives you these are the compute options available for Nutanix model that is mentioned in the document. So this is a basic mini chatbot use case that we built for one of the partner in Singapore. So this particular hardware and software that is used here is not something very expensive. We don't even configure GPU in this case. It is just a CPU because considering it is just only doing inferencing in this instance, we do not want it to complicate it much more in terms of cost and uploading much more documents, right? So this is a very simple use case to have a mini chatbot for your organization. Once you have the right kind of a Kubernetes cluster that is already set up, all you need to do is just install H2O.ai software on top of Kubernetes cluster. And then you just need to open up a port for the Nutanix Carbon to give you the connectivity from the backend. And once the port is opened, then you might have noticed that Mistral is the engine that I use to get the connectivity here. Mistral is a machine learning library, which gives you a foundation for you to give the connectivity and then make sure your large language models are processed, fine-tuned without any expensive need of infrastructure. So this is where H2O.ai complements very well with multiple OEMs. So just in case, if you wanted to have a similar kind of a workshop or a similar kind of a demo that needs to be made available with Dell and H2O.ai, or for example, Cloudera with Dell or a SaaS with HP, then it can be made possible for our partners. So the objective of this particular session is to give you a high-level context of what the technology has to offer in terms of hybrid workspace and how artificial intelligence can coexist with the hybrid environment so that as partners, you can also educate the end users that definitely AI is not something very expensive to start with. You always have options to start something small and grow over a period of time based on the use cases and the workload that you want to define.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it from my side. Please let me know if you have any queries. Over to you, Karan.
Thanks, Ganesh. So all in all, if you put it into a summary, I think um it's not just a plug and play that we are talking about in terms of going for a AI infra, be it on-prem or cloud. It requires certain degree of assessment, certain degree of uh, uh, skills that you need to run it, and then define whether you want to just upgrade certain part in your existing infra to manage the demands of AI, or go with a pre-box or GPT in a box kind of an environment. So in both the cases, you guys can reach out to us. This is where our value offerings come in place, right? So tech data is aiming to empower the partners to deliver these kind of exceptional services, right? So how are we doing this is we try to simplify the complex for our partners, right? So we ensure the risk is minimized, and you are in a ready state to go to market with these kind of high growth technologies, right? So how do we do it? So our tech COE team which is the Tech Center of Excellence team, is making sure that they are doing all the heavy lifting of solutions, design, pre-sales activities, and technical integrations for you, right? So they help you with these kind of aggregated solutions. Under our portfolio, we have three fundamental pillars, which is practice builder, solution factory, and sales acceleration. The first one is a practice builder, which is focusing on enabling the partners, right? So you need to know more about any technology, you want to learn something, understand it, reach out to us, and we'll be able to deliver sessions for you. And we also have developed a on-demand learning portal for you guys where you can log in and then do it through our digital practice builder. The second is the solution factory, which helps you with the solution plays, the blueprints, and the tools that are required for any solution, right? So we can help you build that. And the third is the most important aspect, which is the sales acceleration, where focus is on winning the deals for you through our approach of POCs, consulting services, and demo environments, right? Uh, if we go through the last slide, which talks about our own digital practice builder portal. So as I said, a partner can log into and do a self-paced learning based on their availability. So it's a play and pause kind of environment. You want to learn on your own pace, you log in here and you understand the basics of it. There are different paths available. So if you see under solution practice, we have Microsoft Cloud, we have data AI analytics, and then there is cyber security, right? So all three are available now. Cybersecurity is still coming up, so we have already developed it. It's just like we are in the phase of doing the marketing and reaching out to you guys. So it's in those phase. But if you look at some of the modules, we do have vendor agnostic and vendor specific trainings, right? So I have mentioned some of the vendor agnostic trainings like AI for starters, AI fundamentals, AI business professionals, AI for PCs, right? And then we also have hybrid cloud fundamentals, which talks about certain solutions and how to build those solutions around it. And then we also have vendor specific learnings. So as Ganesh was talking about, we have H2O, SAS, Cloudera, Copilots, right? So those learning modules are also available. So you can log in here, register yourselves, and learn through these modules. And these are completely available to you free of cost. We don't charge any partner for these learnings. And most of the learnings also have credly batches. So once you complete it, you receive a credly batch from Tech Data as well, right? So with this, we end our today's session and we open up the forum for any questions. So I'll hand it back to Ritika, and she can do the closing. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for that insightful presentation, Ganesh and Karan. I am sure that our partners now have a better understanding of how they can leverage tech data to boost their hybrid cloud business. We will now move on to Q&A and respond to the questions that we received from our partners. We request all of you to stay with us just for a few more minutes. Okay, so we move on to our first question, which is, what are the cost implications of running AI workloads in a hybrid cloud compared to a fully on-premises or fully cloud-based solution?
Ganesh, you want to take that question? You're on mute, by the way.
Yes.
There are huge cost difference when it comes to running AI workload, building some AI workload on your own within your private cloud space, or adopting a hybrid approach, which is predefined, pre-tested by the vendor, which is a turnkey solution that you can just simply buy and make use of it, right? So, for example, there are companies like Bloomberg, for instance, which is analytics or known for analytics and financial data management. So they have invested millions and millions, almost approximately 10 millions, to have a mini version of ChatGPT. But again, when it comes to computing processing power, it is 100 times lesser than what a general chat GPT is, which is available for public. So you have to make sure what kind of a data set that you have in terms of terabytes or petabytes, or in terms of how much compute that you wanted to invest in. Then basically this comes into play, whether you wanted to invest heavy or you wanted to go for a ready-made solution that is available with OEM.
Okay, thank you, Ganesh. Moving on to our next question, which is, how do I know whether my data is qualified to run AI workloads?
All right. Definitely, they have to cleanse the data and make sure the data is properly fine-tuned before that is fed into the large language model or any kind of a data set, right? So, because if you let the garbage in, then definitely you get the garbage out. So, there are certain data cleansing mechanisms available that actually take data, and the vendors are used to do assessment as a preliminary phase, and then will validate the data and certify the data. Yes, this is a accurate data that can be fed into the system so that you can get the desired outcome, basically.
Got it. We've just got two more questions to go. The next one is GPU mandatory to run AI workloads?
Definitely, it is not mandatory. At the same time, it depends on what kind of a workload that you wanted to run. The previous instance where I was showing a demo of mini chat GPT version within your organization, it is not a GPU driven node. So it is just a CPU driven node. As long as you're okay with the latency, then that is what it defines how you wanted to spend, how many CPUs you wanted to go for, or you wanted to go for a GPU. So there are certain ready-made solutions again available with the vendors, OEM vendors, where you can actually choose what budget will fit into your investment. Accordingly, you can choose the solution you want.
Okay. Thank you, Ganesh. We'll move on to the last question, which is, what is the difference between AI infrastructure and traditional IT infrastructure?
Traditional IT infrastructure, definitely people are much more aware of it when it comes to compute, storage, and CPUs and memory management. And when it comes to scalability, you have certain limitations of either waiting for a technology refresh or raising ad hoc requirement to fulfill the technological needs. Whereas if it's a AI kind of infrastructure where you have to invest heavily on your GPUs, right, to make sure that your models are aligned with the workload that you wanted to drive. And when you are investing on GPU, definitely the scalability is also needs to be taken care. Accordingly, you can scale your compute and storage seamlessly based on the solution that you choose.
Got it. So those were all of the questions that we have received from our partners. Remember that you can always connect with us even after the webinar with your questions, if any. Just write to us at coe.apj@techdata.com, and we would be more than happy to get back to you. We also request you to respond to the survey that has been shared over chat. Let us know what you liked, what was relevant to your business, and what we can do better for you the next time. With that, we have come to the end of today's exclusive virtual event on hybrid cloud for AI acceleration. I would like to thank our key speakers, Karan and Ganesh, for walking our partners through the essentials of hybrid cloud and how it is helping enterprises to achieve their goals. We hope all of you have enjoyed today's session and look forward to collaborating with us in the near future. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.